With the passage of the American Rescue Plan Act, Nevada state and local governments will receive $6 billion, $4 billion to the state and the rest to counties and cities, including Las Vegas. Not since the building of the Hoover Dam has Nevada seen so much public money. Hoover Dam cost $49 million to build in 1931. That's equivalent to $650 million in today's money. And that's still only 11% of what is coming to Nevada through ARPA. But unlike the building of a dam, an engineering marvel, there is no idea how this money should be spent. Once-in-a-generation funding, and it's not clear what should be done with it. This is painful. For me, I've called Nevada home since 1989. And in 33 years, I've seen the state explode in growth. From 1 to 4 congressional seats, the entire life of the integrated mega resort, which has transformed Las Vegas into a world-class brand, serving over 40 million visitors each year. But I've also seen Nevada's greatest shame. Lost in the shadow of the lights and glitz of the Las Vegas Strip is a dark secret. The worst ranked social service system in the country. Consistently ranked 51st. Nevadans needing help with mental health find only jails and the emergency department. 2 of the most expensive services for helping the homeless. Continued reliance will never improve our social services, but a significant capital investment dedicated to elevating accessibility and quality of care will change lives for the better. In these shadows, opportunity presents itself. Our biggest concern is how do we direct this capital into something genuinely sustainable? Because what we need is an integrated community campus with all services available, from supported housing to community health workers to anything addressing social determinants of health. But beyond spending money, we want to invest it, like the Hoover Dam, still providing power and water decades later, and that's where Advocado was born. Through advocacy, we can do anything. Advocado. We will build a sustainable physical campus, integrating housing, supportive services for people who need it for as long as they need it, to reduce suicide and provide ongoing support for Nevadans' mental and social health. Like any public work project, it will be expensive on the front end. Venture capital suffers the risk of opportunity cost. But with ARPA, the state and local government is the venture capitalist with a time-limited fortune, like Brewster's Millions. And we will harness the investment to build a physical campus, and Advocado will manage the assets that will be supported in perpetuity through usual grants and gifts, but also with economic, social, good, ESG, category investment instruments, stocks, bonds, sellable, and tradable. Tax-free, government secured, the entire world of investment will be open to the noble mission of Advocado's project. Sustainable support for the ongoing cash flow needs of this organization and for the opportunity to generate profit through dividends to investors. There is increasing demand for ESG category funds. 50% of investors sought ESG policies in 2020. 82% report plans to increase ESG among their portfolios in the next year. 42% of US registered investment companies hold government securities in their portfolios. And our project will deliver on these demands for social good instruments that are not pay-for-success projects, which was death by 1,000 contracts. We have an incredible opportunity where government issues the venture capital to build the facility, and through cooperation with the government, social services, and private investors, we will be able to provide ongoing support for programs and the development of assets. Also note, the capital comes from the government, tax-free, and the facility will open debt-free, empowering our concept with the agility to make meaningful gains in promising social good and delivering attractive returns and security to over 60 million households who currently invest in mutual funds. Our project will unlock a whole new world for nonprofit organizations to move beyond mission drift, grants and gifts, from donations to dividends. Additionally, our community will see better outcomes in social services by increasing accessibility to all services needed to move Nevada up from the bottom of the list in mental health and put Nevada first on the list for innovation in economic, social good financing. We will construct a blended business model consisting of a nonprofit 501c3 that will manage the grants and gifts and the programming of the operation. We will also have a private arm of Advocado that will manage the assets and handle all the operations that can't be done by the nonprofit. Proving this concept that a nonprofit organization with public venture capital can be sustained through cash flow from issuing shares to shareholders will open up access to $30 trillion in invested assets currently held in regulated open-end funds. for investment bankers to over 100 million individuals who invest in open-ended funds. Mutual fund managers will be able to incorporate into their portfolios more ESG category products, promoting social good and building long-term wealth. While these are all good gains, we still have 40% of investors concerned with fund performance. And that's why I have assembled a remarkable leadership team. So in addition to myself, we will have over 70 professional years of success working in Nevada politics, government, nonprofit, healthcare, hospitality, and casino gaming. First, our CFO will be Bob Seal. He is a CPA and former treasurer of the state of Nevada. He is well adept at the barriers and needs of public investing and what would be necessary to encourage public investment in our products. Operations will be key, and for that I've picked Carol Fisher, who is a dynamic nonprofit CEO. She was the CEO of a nonprofit hospice in Las Vegas and provided a lot of free care and uncompensated care and compensated care, and that makes her a perfect expert for credentialed care and fungible services. But the key detail in Ms. Fisher's career that I think will be most helpful in this endeavor is her ability to ensure market share. A few years ago, a for-profit hospice came to Las Vegas and began eating up market share. Through diligence and strategy, Ms. Fisher's nonprofit hospice bought out her competition, securing her market dominance. And finally, our Chief Engagement Officer is Poonam Mather, who started out working for Mirage Resorts, the first integrated mega resort in Las Vegas, substantially financed with Wall Street capital. She is prominent in Nevada as she continued reshaping the face of hospitality, managing diversity for MGM Resorts International, then Nevada's largest private employer with over 70,000 employees. Now she is executive director of the Elaine P. Wynn Family Foundation, making her an expert in foundation operations and major donor giving. She's also highly recognized for leadership training. Among our group, we have the intelligence and political capital to deliver, build, and manage this awesome capital project. To get started, we will start with a contractor grant of $6 million from ARPA funds, which we will use over the next 3 years to initiate the project, identify barriers, prepare the regulatory environment from the federal, state, and local government jurisdictions, facilitate the collection of services, professionals, and other details that are necessary to get the facility to be truly a community resource, and then we'll ID the physical location and begin construction. The Great Depression brought thousands of families to the desert west to build a giant dam, one so big to tame the mighty Colorado River and bring bloom and prosperity to the entire desert southwest. Hoover Dam was a cash register dam, meaning that it would pay for itself by selling electricity. It worked. Hoover Dam became solvent in 1987. 50 years later, it's the dam time again. A time to think big, to build the thing that will change everything and foster growth for generations to come. This is it, today's dam moonshot. To not just build a building to serve the homeless, but to build a building and to reconceive public financing. To engineer a new way to tap an infinite well of ongoing financial support, to spend millions to make trillions, to empower organizations committed to social good to have access to capital, and for investors to enjoy modest wealth generated by lifting up those who need help. Because that is how we make the desert bloom, by building what was never been built before and elevating those around us to the best version of themselves. And that's Avocado. Thank you.